you just mentioned your husband. He is in film. So what's his deal?
So he has 2 production companies right now. One was established because of a grant that he received for a short film that he did. Oh, which one was that? It was, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. I should know this.
Ooh, you're in trouble.
I am in trouble. Oh my goodness, I should know this.
Welcome to Glow Local, a podcast that celebrates community, entrepreneurs, and businesses around the area. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Glow Local. Today, I'm sitting down with a very exciting guest who I cannot wait to introduce to you, not only as a business owner and mamapreneur, but as my new CPA. And I am here today with Morgan Reed Cintron. She is a CPA. She is a financial advisor and an aspiring tax attorney. So welcome, Morgan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So Morgan, tell us a little bit about who you are and the businesses that you have.
Yes. So, as you said, my name is Morgan Reed Cintron. My maiden name is Reed, just hyphenated. Cintron is going to be a big name in the video production industry soon.
I want to hear more about that next.
Yes, he's coming up with a bunch of, he's actually working on a feature film right now. So that's a little bit of a side note, which is nice. But yeah, so remember that name, Reed Cintron. And my businesses, I started my business, Tranquil Transactions. It started as the Right CPA or RYT CPA because I'm a yoga instructor. Started as registered yoga teacher, RYT, certified public accountant, CPA. I figured the Right CPA would be a really good name. It started as a regular sole proprietorship, just doing some family and friends tax returns, and we did that for a couple of years and it was going great. So then we started getting some businesses or people that wanted to start businesses involved in our practice. And we decided to run with it. We transitioned and pivoted a little bit. We saw people that not only wanted refunds, but that got tax liabilities or got notices and had questions. Starting a business comes with so many different tax liabilities, formation questions and things like that. So we pivoted to more of a tax strategy firm. And we took off, and now we're serving individuals, businesses, but ideally in the wellness business, beauty industry. The goal is to market to like soul-based or visionary entrepreneurs, people who have closely held entities, who are like wanted to start businesses but started very slowly or just have it very closely linked to their personal accounts. Have it more so supporting their families. And ideally, the goal is to take that business, grow it to the point of legacy planning.
Love that. That is amazing. I feel like you are the full financial package and every business owner's like dream fractional CFO. I know that when I met you, it was actually because I was interviewing guests for the podcasts. We met prior to filming, and it was mostly because after speaking with Morgan on the phone, and she essentially explained all this to me on the phone, I was like, wait, I think I need you myself. So like, podcast aside, can we talk? And we met last week. We had one of the best business conversations I think I have had in my entire career. Morgan can vouch, I was in tears. I was so happy after our discussion because she not only was like literally my, like, you know, like the missing puzzle piece, like she was the missing puzzle piece I felt like. And then I was like, wait, are you taking new clients? And she said yes. And she saw my vision and she has faith in my vision. And so I'm so excited to work with you, and I hope too many of you don't call her because I want her to myself. So talk to me a little bit about when you first got started and you named the business. Where like were you in life? Did you have children yet at that point? Or?
So funny enough, 2021 was a very, very compressed year for us. In the beginning of 2021, I found out I passed all of my CPA exams. Thank you. Then I had to finish up some education credits to apply for licensure. Did that in the spring. Then in the summer, I found out I was pregnant with my first. So then by the end of the year, we got married on New Year's Eve.
Oh my, oh wait, this was in 2021?
Yep.
So like pandemic, like nonsense was happening. It was chaos.
Yeah. Oh, we had 2 weddings because of the pandemic.
Oh, fantastic. I had postponed my wedding about 4 times. So you're preaching to the choir. Oh, 4 times. Okay. So you had a lot going on that year.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you have 2 kids.
And now I have 2. Yeah, my youngest now is about to be 6 months.
Oh my God. And how was the oldest?
3 years.
Oh my God. So you're probably in the thick of it right now. So, as a mom and a business owner, not just a business owner, though, you're in a very prestigious area of business, right? CPA exams are, I'm assuming, very difficult and challenging. So you did all of that right before you found out you were pregnant.
Thank goodness, too.
Thank God. I remember finding out I was pregnant with my oldest son the week I started aesthetic school. And all I thought to myself was, thank God I already went to college. And thank God I already have my waxing license. And this was sort of needs a piggyback because my dad, like, the idea of starting anything program wise, anything licensing, etc., with 2 little kids is daunting. So that's amazing. I'm glad that you were able to establish that. Now, what point after you passed all your exams to start working in the real world did you wake up and say, you know what, I want to do my own thing?
It was kind of always a thing. So I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit ever since I was a kid. Honestly, there was some Bratz magazine that I wanted when I was like 10 years old. And so my goal at the time was to make as much money as I needed to get that and then some. So I asked my grandma, hey, you have this beautiful garden. Can I sell some of your flowers?
Hustler's mentality. I love that.
And she let me pick some of her flowers, and then I took some that I probably shouldn't have, and she got a little bit of mad, but I got my Bratz magazine.
I love that story. Oh my God. So it's super funny that you say that because I do feel like hustlers and entrepreneurs in all of their forms start as children. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure my son is going to make me really rich one day because I can see it already. He's just got the entrepreneurial vision. And my nickname as a child was Cash and Carry. My grandfather called me Cece because I was obsessed with money and I was obsessed with just figuring out how to make money by any means possible. I kid you not, I think I was like 10 or 11 years old and I asked my dad if I could borrow his lawnmower so I can mow the neighbor's lawns for money.
Love it.
And yeah, and I was like, I'm a girl nonetheless, right? Like normally you find out for like your little boy. No, not me. I was mowing my neighbor's lawns for money. I was shoveling people's houses for money at like a young age. And my parents say to me now, they were like, what we do back then that you were going to end up being something special. They always had like a lawyer or a doctor, but
business owner is right up there.
Business owners a little different, but hopefully just as prestigious. So I love the hustle. So you essentially finished school, took your exams, established yourself as a CPA, and hit the ground running. You went right into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, starting a tax firm, really, it's not hard. So generally speaking, you can. I mean, TurboTax is doing it. I should say Intuit. Intuit is building all different kinds of like mom and pop shops, so to speak, all over the city. And especially now in 2026, they're popping up all over the place now.
Right.
So starting a tax practice really isn't that hard for people who just want to do like 1040 or individual income tax returns. Okay. So anybody can really do it. And you don't even have to be licensed for that. You can even just file a taxpayer identification, or sorry, a tax identification number. What is that called? A PTIN.
FEID, right? Resident, something like that.
No, it's a PTIN, Preparer Tax Identification Number through the IRS. And you don't even need to like have a business entity to do that.
Okay.
Or a license at all. And you can file people's tax returns.
So that's kind of where you start with individual returns is what you had said previously.
Yeah.
Okay, so our business returns obviously more complex.
Yes, and they require the bookkeeping.
Right. Okay, so at what point did you kind of pivot and go from filing income tax returns for family and friends to saying, you know what, I want to work with businesses?
It was mostly when someone came to me and said, I want to start a business, what do I do? And I was like, this is what you would need to do. This is how I've seen it done in my career. And this is probably what would make it easier for you. So I just said, here are the steps. Would you like help? And they were like, yes, I want you to take care of it. I don't want to think about it. And I said, good, here's your quote. And they were like, perfect, no problem. Take care of it for me. And we ran with that.
And in that moment, you probably realized you had something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
I think that that's how most businesses start, is that all of a sudden, you know, you realize you have a skill that others don't have. And you worked really hard for that to get the education for that skill. And now all of a sudden people are coming to you with questions about the skills you have. And you're like, wait, I can monetize this. And so out comes the business idea.
For sure.
I love it. So, all right. So we went from all of the, credentials to establishing yourself as a CPA, taking on income tax clients. Then we went into helping business owner number one, let's call it. And then it kind of just blossomed from there, it sounds like.
Yep.
Very good. So at this point in your career, are you, do you have an office? Do you work from home? Where are you at?
So I'm actually looking for an office right now. It would be great if I could have some permanent, structured office, but we are a remote firm currently. And the reason for that is because our family, as you know, is expanding, and my husband's getting ready to finish school. So we're kind of up in the air for where we want to live. My oldest is getting ready to go to kindergarten, so we're trying to figure out where we want to live long term and set roots.
Okay.
So I plan to keep virtual for at least the next year or so, and then establish ourselves wherever we end up.
I love that. Are you guys thinking about staying on the island or building far away?
I don't know yet because, we have a couple of places that we're considering. I would love to stay on the island and blossom here. It's just a matter of whether we can really set down roots here. Our family loves it here, and some of them are considering moving. So, we're just kind of seeing what happens. And then, of course, where I want to practice law, I would love to stay in New York. I would love to go to a New York school and do that too. My focus is definitely going to be tax attorney. So taxes are going to be a big thing. And I'm already familiar with New York City, a lot of the county laws too. So I would love to stay in New York.
Okay, so that actually led me to where I was going next. So the reason I was saying, are you planning on staying here, is because I was wondering, is your licensing, certification, all of the things that you've studied so hard for, I don't know if you could, there's reciprocity? What's the word? Can you use it in other states?
Yes.
So you can?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you can use your licensing in other states. However, the tax laws are probably very different. So you have to learn a whole lot of new stuff.
Yes. And we do focus primarily on 5 general states that have cumbersome state income tax laws. New York, California, Ohio, what was the other one? Pennsylvania, we like a lot. Massachusetts, I would say those are kind of our main 5. But we do have a bunch of people also in Washington and Texas, places that don't have state income tax. Those are just generally a little bit easier, but they have complications for business purposes. So it just depends on what it is they're looking to do, whether it's just an individual tax return, a business tax return, or both. And the most opportunities I see as a tax strategist is the business and having the combination of the two.
And at the end of the day, as a business owner, we're all dealing with one large entity, which is Uncle Sam himself and the IRS. And I feel like at the end of the day, from state to state, that's all varied. It's all the same. It's just the state tax laws that I wonder what make things complicated as you decide to go somewhere else. I'm always curious how that works. I know for me as an esthetician, if I was spending another state, it is a headache and a half. To transfer your licensing. Some states require you to take more hours, some of your states require less hours, and it is quite a transition from one state to the next if you were to try to move. So
absolutely. And with the attorney license, that's definitely going to be a cause for concern. But like I said, where we end up establishing ourselves and buying a house and getting settled, that's where we're probably going to end up with that license for the attorney, but my CPA license can be used across the states.
Excellent. And if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, right? Exactly. No. All right, amazing. So now that we have 2 little kids in the picture and you're establishing roots here, you're obviously hungry for business, clients, right? Like any other small business owner. So if a client is watching, a prospective client, let's call it, is watching this, somebody who may be interested in your services, what kinds of services do you have to offer to the people who are watching? What can you say to them? Who are you a good fit for?
Yes. So we did this exercise for our marketing actually with one-liners. So I'll just say it like this. So we help wellness owners save in taxes.
Okay, fantastic. And in addition to helping people save on their taxes, you've also act as a financial advisor for business owners. What kind of financial advisement services do you offer to business owners?
Sure. So we offer, it's mostly in the realm of taxes. So we take your financial statements. Ideally, you have a bookkeeper, but we do offer fractional CFO services to certain clients. We take your tax savings, your bookkeeping, and we determine what it is in your tax circumstances from your bookkeeping records that can be saved and then reinvested into the business over time. So we'll take that bookkeeping, financial statements, and we'll determine, we'll talk to you about your goals. We'll talk to you about what it is you want to do with the business long term, how it's going to impact you personally. Like I said, we work with a lot of closely held entities. So a lot of these business owners are doing some kind of trade or skill. They're reinvesting it into not only their business, but their family life as well. And so we take that into consideration. What are your goals? What do you want to get out of running your business? Where do you want it to take you? Do you want it to pass it to your children? Do you want to save for retirement? Do you want to take this skill and reinvest it into continuing education and continue to grow the business that way? Do you want to even work in your business going forward? Or do you want to sell it? Do you want to have an exit? And we consider that as part of your legacy and where you want to go in the long term. And we take the tax savings, reinvest it towards your goals, whatever they may be.
That's amazing. I feel like a lot of business owners, and I have to say for myself specifically included, we get into business because we're good at a skill, whether like for me, I'm very niche based, I'm service based. So you're like, well, I'm really good at this, so why should I not open my own business, right? And then all of a sudden you have like this rude awakening one day when you're like, oh, I'm really good at waxing, but like I know nothing about business, and business is like kind of an umbrella that's made up, I feel like, of so many different entities. And one of the missing pieces that I, in the very beginning, had to kind of navigate, learn through was the business finances. Business finances are kind of like their own little beast. I think personal finances are obviously pretty complicated on an individual level, but now when you had business finances in the picture and you have cash flow the size of, quadruple what you have at home, and it's not all your money.
Nope.
Learning how to budget, save, and allocate funds towards specific areas can be really overwhelming for the average person. So talk to me about how you may be able to assist somebody. You had said that you offer fractional CFO services for certain individuals. Talk to me how you can kind of release the burden off of some, let's say, newer business owners' shoulders who may be feeling a little overwhelmed because they're really good at something, maybe that be a service or whatever, and they starting their own business, but they're feeling overwhelmed with all the money that's coming in and where's it all going every month. Can you help people kind of restructure their budgets and their bank accounts and things like that in order to help them make more sense of their money and have spend it appropriately without putting themselves in a bad place?
Absolutely. That's the whole goal. And like I said, it depends on what your end goals are. So if your end goals are to grow the business, obviously, then how do you want to grow the business? Do you want to grow the business by hiring employees? Do you want to grow the business by getting some additional debt or capital? Do you want to grow the business by maybe hiring your kids? That's a huge tax saving strategy that people use these days. And do you have the options to do that? Do you even have children? What exactly do you want to do is a huge part of strategizing your tax savings, because we can structure it any way you want to. And then also, like, what it is, do you work from home? Do you have a separate office? Like, what is the structure of your business, where it's located, how much it's bringing in, how much taxes you currently pay versus, and also what kinds of taxes you pay? Do you have a payroll, or are you a solo operator? Are you in an industry that needs sales tax? Obviously, we all have income tax, but what kind of income tax? Are you considered an LLC or a single member LLC where it flows through to your personal income tax returns and it's bundled all in one? Or do you have a separate business entity where now you have two separate tax filings? So it really is dependent on entity structure, your goals, and where the money is coming from. So yeah, we offer all different kinds of services as it relates to fractional CFO and how you want to take those amounts and transition it into overall tax savings.
Okay, so a lot of tax strategy for the most part. Really, that's what you have fully encompassed in ETIP Strategy World. Are you capable, or do you offer the service rather, of assisting maybe aspiring business owners with starting a business entity?
Absolutely. Yeah, we offer a very ground level service as well, where if you just want the tax return filed and a couple of questions here and there, we offer some consulting throughout the year. And that service offering is very low grade. Just kind of ask me anything. We offer like a group for Ask Me Anythings for small business owners that are just getting started. So that's definitely somewhere where a brand new business owner or aspiring business owner can just come in and be like, hey, I'm looking to file my returns. Are starting a business, where do I start? How do I structure my bank accounts? Where do I go? And what kind of accounts do I need? What kind of returns should I be considering? Basically, like a cohort of people who want to start businesses, they can always come to us and ask us questions in a 1-hour session of Ask Me Anything.
Perfect. And you can help them form their entity as well,
Yep.
on the state websites and stuff, and help them form their LLC or S Corp or whatever.
Yes, and
find their tax ID number, all that good stuff that everybody else is doing in the very beginning stages.
yes. And that's also very easy to DIY.
Yeah, I did do it myself, I will say, but it took some research and it took a little bit of time to make sure I was doing everything the right way. Also, too, New York State offers, this might be helpful to somebody who might be aspiring to open a business, but New York State offers the Business Express.
Yes.
option on the New York State website. So if you go to the New York State Business Express website, I've actually told a few aspiring business owners to check this out. You put in kind of what you're looking to do, and it gives you like a checklist. And it's like, you should form an LLC by doing this. You need to get your tax ID number by doing this. You need to get your certificate of authority. This, that, like all of the things, and it gives you a nice little checklist. So yes, it is definitely DIY-able. However, some people are not very technologically, let's say, advanced or literate in the way that maybe some of us are. So if they do need those services, you can do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we've established that, you do offer a ton of services in the financial realm. You specialize in tax strategy. You help with, financial advisement. You are in the process of becoming a tax attorney. So I will touch on that in a moment. And then in addition to all of that, I did just want to ask you before we go into the attorney world about what makes you stand out from a generalized business tax accountant. So why do you think that you are a better choice, let's say?
Because I care about your business. I care about you. I care about your families and why you're starting the business. A lot of accountants, especially ones that are focused on compliance specifically, they just say, give me your stuff and let's file it, and don't ask me any questions about what would be best for you. I personally feel that a lot of people in business do it because they're trying to make a legacy plan, whether it's for their children to grow to save money to do X, or they have goals outside of what it is that they're actually doing in the business. They want to grow towards something. They have something to aspire to. And if you don't understand what they're aspiring to, how can you help them from a business perspective? Like you can just file the return, sure, but that's not going to help grow the business. And it can help actually hurt the business if they accrue the tax liabilities, or they don't know. Maybe there was a mistake somewhere along the line that wasn't flagged for them from their trusted advisor. I feel like that is just such a missed opportunity.
Right. And also, I know something that really stood out to me that when you and I were talking about partnering was that you mentioned you have, I think it was like a 24-hour promise response time.
Yes.
I love that because I've worked with a few different CPAs in the past, and it's been messy. You send them a notice, hey, I got this from the IRS. What does this mean? And you never hear back. Or, hey, I have some, outstanding tax liabilities. How can we get this sorted out? And then you never hear back. And it's like this constant back and forth game between, are you working on this? Are you not working on this? Did you get my text? Did you get my email? I love how responsive you are. And I think that as a business owner, to have somebody like you on their team is so, not only incredibly helpful, but it's imperative to the success of the business, because it's so easy for just a few missed tax liabilities
to balloon,
put you under. So you need somebody who's on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's fantastic that you're so readily available to help people in that area, because so many of us think we know what we're doing, and then all of a sudden you get like a notice and you're like freaking out.
Yeah.
What do you mean I owe all of this money? And it happens to the best of us, and having somebody that can kind of explain it to you, break it down for you, is just so helpful. So I love that.
And for what it's worth, responsiveness is also one of the main things that we advocate for, because it's such a common complaint amongst people with business CPAs specifically. They get overwhelmed. They do things where they take on too many clients. For example, like we have to limit our client roster for a reason and niche down for that reason. Basically, target market exactly what we're looking for so that we can provide that service.
Right. So I respect that, though, because I do believe that a lot of people just see green in all areas of business, but specifically in that world, they probably see green, and they know that, okay, I can just take on this client and file their taxes and get paid and move on. And you're more of like, I want to be on your team.
Yeah.
I want to hold you from, soup to nuts, the whole nine. And it's nice to have somebody like you on their team, because, you are a mom yourself. You are a business owner yourself. So you can really resonate with the clients that you're working with and help them to the best of your ability.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. So I did want to dive into a little bit about your next big venture, because it's a big venture. Talk to me about your your law school situation now. Are you preparing for law school? Are you in law school? Where are we?
I'm preparing for law school, and it was actually a goal right after I got my CPA. Before I found out I was pregnant, I went through a whole boot camp of advisements for law school application process and what to do and how to study for the LSATs and how to compile my transcripts to generate my LSAC GPA, for those of you that know what that is. It was a whole big ordeal, and then I found out I was pregnant at the very tail end of it, and I was like, well, this isn't going to work right now, so we have to put a pause on that. And yeah, now I'm starting the studies back up again. I'm in contact with that advisor again, and I'm really hopeful for where we're going to be in the next 5-6 years.
I respect that so much. I had shared with you when we met that I actually took the LSATs myself. When I graduated from undergrad, I thought I was going to go to law school. I had like a little bit of a different vision for my life back then. And the LSATs are no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking them. I told you about the story with the kid who was sitting next to me. So after during the exam, he took his pencils, threw them up in the air, and just walked out of the exam. I was like, that guy's not going to be a lawyer.
Yeah. If stress is going to get to you that much, you're definitely not going to be a lawyer. And I will say the CPA exams took it out of me too, some of it. But, you know, we persist. We have grit.
It's definitely something you need grit for. I really respect the fact, though, that you're revisiting this after having babies, because a lot of men and women and that are parents, they often have goals and dreams and aspirations that I think they put aside, you know, to become parents, and then they just never revisit it because, let's be honest, parenthood is literally a full-time job in and of itself. You have persevered. You are one of the people that I think deserves the spotlight, not just today, but just really for always. Because, I mean, when I'm looking for someone to give my business to, it always stands out to me when I'm giving my business to somebody who I can resonate with, because I get how hard it is to be a business owner while being a parent. And then now you're also putting yourself through law school on top of it, you know, because you're a glutton for punishment, apparently.
I've been told, actually.
No. I think that really in the grand scheme of things, it has nothing to do with that, but more so to do with the fact that you're an ambitious woman with goals and dreams, that you're not going to let anything get in your way. And there's just so much to be said about that. And I think it just speaks volumes to the people who may be watching, who have dreams and aspirations that, you know, they've been a little hesitant to go after, because I'm a mom. I'm a dad, and I have to take care of my kids, and I can't afford that, or I can't, right? Like, there are ways, right? We know that there's ways. We've navigated under ourselves. And so I encourage anybody who's, you know, even thinking about going back to school or starting that business, to just take the first step and see what's involved, because you may be surprised it's really not so out of reach.
And also to that same effect, I feel like it's important for me to choose my clients in that same realm too of mindset, because mindset is so imperative to where you want to go with your business. Because if you don't believe that you can do it, you don't believe that you can raise the capital, you don't believe that taking on debt can be beneficial for your business, you don't believe that you know, you're going to hit that financial mark that you've been trying to get to for so many years, like, what's the point?
Sure, right. I think there's a healthy level of doubt versus a, you know, mindset, like a positive mindset for success. And so there has to be an even balance to some degree, right? We never want to start something so blinded to the point where, like, you put yourself in a bad way, but you also you have to take baby steps. But there are times once those baby steps are taken, you have to take, you gotta crawl before you can walk, before you can run. Like, but if you just crawl the whole time, you're just walking the whole time, you know, take that leap of faith and, you know, start running after you know, your goals. Like, eventually, like, you're going to wake up one day and be like, why aren't I reaching my goals? Well, because you have to take the leap of faith sometimes.
Yeah.
But it has to be within reason. And I think that if you use logic and common sense, that, you know, you can be very successful. And sometimes that does require taking a risk and being, you know, a little nervous about it. But at the end of the day, if you feel like confidently about something, like sometimes, you know, if you go here about you're probably on the right track and maybe have something good going for you.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
we work with our clients on mindset too. We have like a money mindset, and quick note, but in the future, the right CPA, because we couldn't use that for our official professional services entity in New York State. They wouldn't let me, unfortunately. So the right CPA is actually going to end up being a financial literacy brand in the future. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, for people who are looking to, like, get their mindset around their finances situated and start that journey of, like, can I do this? Yes, I can. And, you know, get to that point where you can actually believe in yourself, and we release those limiting beliefs of like, I can't do this. I don't have enough money. This isn't what I'm meant for. My family never advised me on how to do this. Like whatever limiting beliefs that you have that are stopping you from getting to where you want to be, that brand will be addressing financial literacy and money mindset.
I love that. There's a quote. It says, whatever you think you can or you think you can't get right. Yes. And I live by that because I truly believe that it is one of the most aspiring quotes, because if you think that you can't, well, then you probably cannot, right? Like you have to just put your best foot forward every single day, take the plunge, take a leap of faith, like I said before, and see what happens. Because if you don't, there, people say like you can be 40 and look back and say, I wish I did this 10 years ago, or you could be 30 and say, maybe I'll start when I'm 40, right? Like no matter what, like you're literally going to either be in the exact same place, or like 40 is going to come no matter what.
Yeah.
So whether you turn 40 and you did it at 30, or you turn 40 and you never did it at 30, you're still going to turn 40 at some point, right? So I'd rather turn 40 and have started then than never started at all and have no regrets. So
absolutely,
it's worth just taking the lead and seeing what happens.
And time is one of those things that you just never get back. So
right.
Yeah. I was reading a quote the other day specifically targeted for like accounting firm, people who want to start accounting firms, that said like, do you want to spend your 30s building someone else's legacy?
Facts.
I was like, no, I don't.
Listen, there is so much to be said about the security of a weekly paycheck and having a job that, every week you're going to get paid, that you have benefits, that, you're going to be able to keep a roof over your family's head. And like, I give my husband a lot of credit because that's like the shit he puts up with, just to ensure that like we get that paycheck every Friday and we have the benefits. Kudos, right? Because like he has business ideas and it is something that we are working on. I'm the risk taker and he is definitely more like moderate risk, low risk. And I think it's good because we keep each other grounded. But at the same time, there is something to be said, of course, about, staying in a job that gives you that security. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you could be working on your hustle and stuff.
Yeah. And it's funny.
People do.
It's funny you say that too, because my husband is definitely the risk taker. And based on this conversation, you probably wouldn't think that.
Not at all. No, I would have thought it was you, but I love that because that's interesting. I think that we feed off of our partners. My husband never even thought about opening a business ever in his whole entire life, but like 8 years together, the last few years, he's been dabbling with the idea, and lately he's really been dabbling with the idea. And I truly believe it has a lot to do with him seeing where I'm building and kind of wanting to do it for himself.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's interesting. I think that's it's you need to have a partner that encourages and supports your dreams and your goals, but also keeps you grounded. He keeps me grounded. I encourage his dreams. He supports me too as well. But it's really helpful to have somebody on your team that kind of is it. You know what? The two high risk people in a relationship. That's dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It could work out, but I fear that it could be very dangerous. So I do have some other things I wanted to talk to you about. So one of the things that I did want to go into was talking about, you just mentioned your husband, and you mentioned that he is in film. Mm-hmm. I'm interested, is he solo? Is he on his own? Does he work for a company? What's his deal?
So he has 2 production companies right now. One was established because of a grant that he received for a short film that he did. Oh, which one was that? It was, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. I should know this.
Ooh, you're in trouble.
I am in trouble. Oh my goodness, I should know this. I can picture it in my head too. I'm so bad with names. Isaac Cintron. His 2 companies are 181 Productions and You So Stupid Productions. That was the one that was initially established.
So those are his companies?
Yes, those are his companies.
He's also a business owner?
Yes.
Oh, we gotta get Isaac going here.
Yeah, that would be great. He would love that actually. Because I know he's been doing a couple of things with 181 that's more like professional sounding, because he did get that note. But 181 is more so for marketing other businesses in the same. And he is working with like a gym right now and helping them do promos for social media and things like that. But You So Stupid Productions was built out of the grant initially. And that one, that was just a really funny, memorable name that he picked. And his projects he's done all of his like undergrad projects through there, and a lot of his projects after during graduate school are going to be going through You So Stupid as well.
This is so fun. I had no idea that he was like a hustler himself. I I was asking because you had mentioned him earlier, and I was intrigued about what he did. But to learn that we've got two entrepreneurs in the household is so exciting. You don't really hear that too often. I feel like there's usually the kind of like my situation where you have like an entrepreneur and then you have like the low risk guy who's like, I'm just gonna go to work every day and I'm gonna get my paycheck just in case you fail. So okay, so cool. So Isaac is too an entrepreneur and a parent. So we have to maybe next season we got to talk to Isaac a little bit. So is Isaac's companies, is he taking on new clients?
Yes.
Oh, very good. So we'll have to drop his information when we post the YouTube,
Of course.
as we can hopefully get him some views as well. Because I love to spotlight business owners as a whole, but as individuals, but as a family unit.
Thank you.
We do complement each other's services. That's really fun.
He is our creative director.
Oh,
So there's that.
love this. So fun. Does he manage your socials?
No, he doesn't. He's busy in school. Let me back up on that. He would love to manage our socials, but he is very, very busy, especially helping me establish Tranquil. And, obviously we both have young children.
Yeah.
So, we are both busy parents, and as much as he would love to, he did do our initial video for like our introductory webpage, and he helped us set up our marketing and build our creative direction.
Excellent.
But he is not currently managing the social media.
But he has helped you with Tranquil transactions.
Oh yeah, from the very beginning.
I love it. It's a team effort. So do you have any books that you would recommend to a mom who's aspiring to open a business?
Yes, I would recommend Setting the Table by Danny Meyer. And the reason for that is because it's all about hospitality. And us as moms, we're so used to nurturing and caring for other people. Setting the Table sets a hospitality framework for how you can take those transferable skills and put it into your business practice, whether that's dining, hospitality itself, any kind of small business like that deals with client relations, really. Setting the Table, Danny Meyer.
I love that. That's amazing. Morgan, what type of advice would you give to an aspiring mompreneur?
Oh, to narrow it down, I would probably say ask for help. Like, number one thing, moms have so much in their brains. Like, we just, we need help. And don't be ashamed to ask for help in all areas, whether that's, caring for the kids, helping with your business, helping, there's so much that goes into being a solopreneur, being a mom, and caring for your family in general. Just ask for the help. No shame in it.